Medigroup Physician Services presents Medigroup's Frank's Fast Five with Healthcare Executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters. Today's guest is Frank Prendergast, VP Distributor Relations for VapoCoolShot. Now here's your host, Medigroup's Frank Gillespie.
Well, nice to be with you again, and welcome to another edition of Medigroup's Frank's Fast Five. Today, I have the privilege of sharing some conversation with Frank Prendergast, Vice President of Distributor Relations for VapoCoolShot. CoolJect, ladies and gentlemen, from their website, provides innovative technology that is designed to minimize pain and anxiety without compromising quality or adding any drugs. By innovating new products, we are making the next leap for patient care and revolutionizing pain management technology and practices. We envision a generation of patients unafraid of needles. VapoCoolShot, ladies and gentlemen, is a contracted supplier of Medigroup. So, Frank, it's an honor and welcome. How are you? Glad to have you here.
I'm doing great, Frank, and yourself?
Doing well. Thank you very much. It's like we joked earlier, today it's Wednesday, but it's really my Friday, and we won't go into the details behind that. But yeah, I'm having a great day.
That's great. I'll be thinking about you the next couple of days as well.
Well, thanks so much for making time today. I really appreciate it. I know the gentleman you work with, Buck Buckland, a super nice guy. He and I go way back, and I've always had a good relationship. So, it's great to have him in the reins there at VapoCoolShot, and then to get to meet you and to work with you. Fantastic. So I'm looking forward.
Absolutely. Same here. I feel the same way.
I appreciate it. Thank you. So I promised you guys I wouldn't waste your time. So, Frank, I'm going to just dive right into these questions.
Sure.
Can you tell us a bit about your background, Frank, in the healthcare industry and your overall role at CoolJect?
Oh, great. So I'll give you a 30,000 foot. I've been in,
Sure.
healthcare medical distribution for well over 36 years. Started out back in 1987. We all know the market crashed, and out of necessity, brings opportunity. And when the market crashed, I was actually selling real estate, and I ventured into our family pharmacy, and opened up our physician supply. 10 years later, after the growth and seeing different acquisitions back in the late 90s, there was a lot of acquisitions with the larger distributors. I was one of them. So in 1997, I exited out to Henry Schein. And I really enjoyed an immense, education and responsibilities and different roles there, anywhere from, heading up the product category US to, selling equipment and being a director of US of equipment and heading up that team as well. But really gave me a background and working with a lot of suppliers that I truly watched commercialize over the years. And when I exited out, early 23, I ventured into looking at companies like this that had, new innovative technology, and heading up their U.S. sales as VP of Distributor Relations, and really enjoying it. Really enjoying a new technology that's out there for something that, it's a commodity. There's not much change in the market.
Wow. And you look like you're enjoying yourself. That's what counts the most. That you can't deny that, the smile on your face and your enthusiasm right there. Fantastic. That's awesome,
Thank you.
Frank.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Frank, a question about the product. How is the targeted mist? And I read about targeted mist both when we were negotiating the agreement and also on your website. How is the targeted mist of CoolJect more beneficial for application than the competitive topical anesthesia?
That's a great question. Topical anesthetics have been around for quite some time. Hasn't been much change in the market in the past 20, 25 years. There's been some nuances to it, but really not much changes. CoolJect came out with a proprietary targeted mist. And what that means is that the mist it's not midstream where you're just streaming on the skin and you're just flooding the skin with product. And it's not an overall aerosol spray, almost like a hairspray where you're just spraying it. It has this, it's a targeted. So if you're going to inject in a certain area, you're going to use this targeted mist, it's all about the canister. It's all about the nozzle itself, I should say. The nozzle, which atomizes the product and makes it to fine particles, and it's able to deliver a colder, faster, colder, longer application of a product because it is targeted, and it allows evaporation, it allows concentration on the skin, and then numbing for the skin. It's exciting because it's a new product that puts some innovation into something that's been around a long time. You're anesthetizing the area, and it's all about the patient, but it gives the distributor rep and the sales rep an opportunity to talk about something, a change in the market where we really haven't seen much change.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. So really then the targeted mist is something that's sprayed on and it doesn't drip off. It hits the target and stays where it's applied. I like that. That's really makes
Yeah,
me.
that's correct. If you could picture it, when your skin gets wet when it's cold out, or you fan your skin, you feel it
Yeah.
get cold, right? That's an
Yeah.
evaporation process, right?
Yeah,
So if
exactly.
you put too much product on your skin, okay, you're saturating it, not giving the opportunity to evaporate. If you put just enough, you're giving the opportunity to evaporate, and it's making it colder faster, colder longer, that's the technology, and all in that little nozzle.
Kind of like getting out of the swimming pool in Phoenix, Arizona when it's 120 and now you think, oh my gosh, I'm cold. That's all that evaporation coming off your body so quick because it's so hot.
You're spot on.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. So thank you, Frank, for that. So, Frank, how does the CoolJect solution impact the multiple classes of trade in healthcare? I mean, who are some of the larger user classes of trade for CoolJect?
Great question. First of all, anyone who's given an injection could use a topical anesthetic,
Okay.
CoolJect. And the reason being is because whether you're given an IV or you're given some sort of injection or whatever, but as you look at the users that are more heavy users, so to
Yes, sir.
speak, you
Yes.
look at, like, for instance, your orthopedics, your pain management, your foot and ankle, your in surgeries and et cetera, when you're doing an injection, any
Sure.
kind of injection that they're doing a lot of injections, but using maybe a heavy gauge needle. Orthopedics is a great example. They might be using an 18 gauge needle to give an injection in the knee, or they're doing an aspiration. Well, once you puncture the skin, it hurts. Those
Yeah.
thick needles, not like those little butterflies, right?
Yeah.
Those butterfly needles. When you're giving that injection, it hurts. So it's all about the patient, and it's all about the process. And orthopedics are very heavy users. Podiatrist, foot and ankle, dermatology. Using for fillers and everything else like that. They want to anesthetize the area a little bit. And
Sure.
some of those applications they use, you have to wait an hour
Wow.
before you could even
Didn't
give
realize that.
some sort of injection or anything, where ours is in a couple of seconds, just 3 seconds, 3 inches away, and you have blanching of the skin, and it's absolutely fantastic, and it's comfort for the patient.
That's great. And I know why we contracted with you guys because of our classes of trade, many of which you just mentioned. So that's fantastic. It fits
Yeah.
perfectly. So, Frank, this is probably, I don't know, maybe this is a repeat of a question, but we'll run it out there. Are there other features about CoolJect that our members should know about? I mean, we've talked about the targeted mist, and that's really cool, but are there any other features you want our members to know about as it relates to the CoolJect product?
I would say that the actual technology and that targeted mist and the ability to be colder, faster, colder, longer, the real feature is it's all about the patient. And patient comes first. When you look at why a physician is giving a topical anesthetic, it's
Sure.
because it could be two reasons. One, they want to make it more comfortable for the patient,
Okay.
and two, 26% of all patients, they are fearful of needles. They're just fearing of needles. So if you could break that moment, that barrier of fear, and be able to give an injection, more patients will come back to the office sooner, faster.
Makes
Or
sense.
while you're there and you give an injection, they don't say, "Hey, can I come back next time and have this?"
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is. That one targeted miss, that change right there is really the evolution of where we feel it's more of a gold standard of an application today, on really caring about the patient. And again, your cost savings for the office. There's a
Yeah.
tremendous cost savings for the office because our
Absolutely.
delivery is being able to target, but also faster, longer. When we say faster, we're using less gas per second.
Okay.
Plus, the application itself is quicker. So that 3 seconds instead of 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds makes a difference as well. So using less product, which is always great if you're going to
Okay.
use less product, more
Yeah.
efficient for the office. So you'll
Sure.
save the office money, profit for the distributor, comfort for the patient. It's a win-win all around. I mean, that's how I evaluate products when I see products. I look at them and I say, is it a win for all? If it's a win for the supplier, but it doesn't help the patient, very difficult sale. At the end of the day, commercializing a product like this is just super exciting because it covers everything.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Frank, thank you for that. And lastly, Frank, I mean, we're already at question number five. I told you it wouldn't take long. Lastly, Frank, what is a piece of advice you received early in your career that you still use today?
Well, aside from, the traditional, from when I got my first job at, 14 years old working in a bike store, they always said, what you say, what you say you're going to do, you have to do, right? You have to do
Yeah.
that. But I think from a business perspective, somebody said to me early on, respond to people quickly, respond to people, get them their answer, take care of their problem. Don't worry about your issues. Make sure you can take care of others first. So this way, yours will always be taken care of if you take care of others first. So whether it be responding to an email quickly, or a text, or getting a solution for someone, or even telling someone, I'll be right back. I'll try to find the solution, but keeping them updated. Early on in the process, it was all about communicating and really being, very responsive, and that ends up building a brand for you, because people know that they could count on you. And it really is something that just really sounds like it's simple. It's blocking and tackling. But how many times through your career have you sent an email and you're waiting a day or two and you're like,
Yeah.
is that person going to, did they even get the email? And you try to figure out how to respectfully
Yeah.
send them and say, but by the way, just making a note over here that I might have a deadline, or did you receive this? It kind of,
Sorry to trouble you
or
again. I hope I'm not bothering you, but I really need to know this.
absolutely. So, it's response and making sure that you're, people's expectations of you, that you're fulfilling.
You're spot on. I love that. That's exactly right. And your comment about just letting people know that you're following up on it. Hey, I got your message. I don't know the answer, but I'll get back to you by tomorrow. If I still
Yeah.
don't know the answer, I'm going to get back to you still and let you know that
Yeah.
I didn't find anything out. You're
Yeah.
exactly right. That's
You,
huge.
you you need to put yourself in the mind of that other person that's looking for
Yeah,
something, right? And if
exactly.
they're looking for something, you don't know the urgency at that moment, but certainly if you're waiting, it's a tough position to be in if you're the
Yeah,
one that has to deliver that
for
information.
sure. Frank, I appreciate it. This was fun. I enjoyed it. I really did, and I love talking with you. And you've got a ton of background, so there's things I could learn from you still too. And I look forward to working with you as we move down the road here. But thanks for making the
Uh,
time. And Buck, I know you're listening in. Thank you very much. I respect you greatly. And gentlemen, I hope you have a great rest of the week.
Has been MediGroup's Frank's Fast Five with healthcare executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters, and hosted by Frank Gillespie. Special thanks to Frank Prendergast, VP Distributor Relations for VapoCoolShot. This has been a presentation of MediGroup Physician Services.